So as you can tell from the title, today's going to be a slight pivot from what I usually talk about. But I think it's something important because not a lot of people want to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it. So especially during Pride Month, I think it's really important to highlight the fact that this is like, I am a queer person. I make it no secret that I'm a queer person. And if you know the signals, you know they're all there. And my sister knows. Like, my sister knows 100% that I'm a queer person, and she not only knows, but she supports it. She's just been one of the greatest allies I've ever met in my entire life. And yeah, and she's cishet. Like, she is cishet, and she literally is like one of the best allies I've ever encountered. So I'm not gonna name the kids because, like, first of all, just in case I don't want to dead name the kids, I'm also gonna keep my terms gender neutral. Again, for that reason, because I don't know what they're gonna be when they grow up. Probably they're gonna be cis, because most people are, but like, just in case, because most people are pretty lazy when it comes to discovering their own gender, and that will be another video coming up. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be talking about that, about how, like, there's no one way to be a woman, there's no one way to be a man, there's no one way to be non-binary. But anyway, this is about something else. So I am an uncle, and I use the portmanteau of uncle and aunt because I am neither their aunt or their uncle, and there's no gender neutral term that's really in use right now. So I made up uncle, or I don't know if I heard it somewhere else, but that's the term that I made up for myself, and that's cool. So basically, when it comes to my sister and I's relationship with her and her kids, I didn't really come into the picture full time until I got proper help with my medications and my pain management. Sorry, I'm just gonna get more comfortable because there's gonna be a lot of yammering. And so I needed to, like, first of all, she lived in a completely different city that was difficult to get to regardless of my disabilities. Like, I couldn't get there no matter what, and I didn't even know I was autistic back then either, and that, you'll see why. Like, this is gonna be a long video, so just strap in and put it to ×2 so it'll be funnier that way. And I don't know why my hair keeps doing this sideways thing, even though I'm not styling it to do this weird sideways swoop. But let me tell you something, my hair does this no matter what length I do, so fuck it, I give up. If it's gonna be this way, fuck it. Anyway, so my sister got pregnant with her first kid in 2018, and had her in 2019, had them in 2019, and I wasn't able to be really close to them as I would have liked, even because they lived so far away. However, I did get to meet them within their first week, and I had just quit smoking because I was using smoking for pain management back then. I don't recommend that because that's a shitty way to manage pain. Like, yay, cancer. But yeah, no, don't do that to manage your pain because it only works for like a week and then you're addicted. So don't do that. And so I just quit smoking because that's what I wanted to. I wanted to live long enough to see the kid that I got to hold for the first time graduate elementary school. That was my goal. Anything beyond that was bonus. I just want to see them graduate elementary school. Or maybe the youngest one graduate elementary school. That would be nicer. But like, so that was and I remember the first time I was shaking so hard. Not because I was afraid I was going to hurt the little baby, but because their firstborn, because their little St. Patrick's Day baby, but because I realized what it meant to be holding this baby. I realized how important it was to suddenly be holding this child that my sister created. You know, like, she created that kid. Like, yeah, she had some sperm help, but stay hydrated. But yeah, like, that was her firstborn. And like, I remember my spouse was taking so many pictures of the two of us together, E and I. I'm just going to use the first initials and use gender neutrals, like E and I. Like, they were taking so many pictures of the two of us together, and there's like this whole like folder of the first day Ellie and I met, and there's just they're making so many funny faces, and like, they're so little, and like, they're just like, it's great photos. So like, And then when I held E, I was just like, this is it. Like, this is it. And I think I relapsed with cigarettes twice after that, but after that, I was done. And then that same year was when I got enrolled in the medical withdrawal unit at CAMH, and that's when I got help. That's when I got on the proper medications. And since then, except for one incident, I haven't had to go to the emergency room for pain management. I haven't had to do any of that, and I haven't had to change my medications or increase them. I haven't had to do any of that since October 2019. And yeah, and then so my sister moved a little bit closer, so I was able to engage a little bit more. And then she got pregnant again with N. And so N is a little bit different than E, even though I still have a very big closeness to E, and I'll tell you why in a moment, because that is never going to go away. But N, I've known since day one. And even before then, I didn't really get to be there with Heather with the pregnancy with E, but this one I did. And we all knew the name and the sex. We all knew for some reason that who N was, who makeup of N. I think we just knew. And so N was born the end of July in 22. So yeah, COVID baby. But my God, COVID babies are really freaking smart. They're scary smart, and N is no exception. But a little bit around that time, or a bit before that time, we discovered that E is autistic. And we're discovering now that they're probably ADHD as well, and definitely OCD. So yeah, and when that happened, my family changed forever. This little E, this little kid, changed everything forever. And so not only did I discover that I was autistic, we discovered that Heather is ADHD. We discovered that N is probably going to be ADHD. Yes. We discovered that my eldest sister is definitely OCD, and it's been in our family. My dad is 100% autistic, 100% autistic, and his mom was too. And it's in our family. It's all over our family. We just, because autism itself is just so new and different, it's hard to keep a lineage of it, because the lineage itself of autism as a name, as a form, hasn't really been around that long. So yeah, we've only been able to map it back to Gladys, and which is the name of my dad's mom. And yeah, so not only was this a huge revelation, it changed the entire family. And yeah, it was great. It explained everything for my sister and I. It explained all the things. I found out things about my sister that I had no idea was going on during this time of diagnoses and getting to know N and growing up alongside N and my sister and E and everything like that. And the tumultuous facade that was my sister's marriage to their dad. Thank God is almost over. But it was going on, and she really needed support. She really needed a second parent, not a babysitter, but a second parent. And I really think I was able to rise up to that, as much as possible without living full time. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, and often on the weekend, I would go see them and I would hang out with them, and it would be the greatest. Tea days or Tara days, and I got to know these two little kids, and now E and I are she calls me my best friend and her sister. And their best friend and their sister, even though I've said I'm not really a sister. But they don't really get it yet, because kids, even though they do understand gender variance, they're taught strictly binary stuff. For some reason, we don't really teach the kids that there's more than two genders and sexes. They just kind of figure it out on their own, or they come across somebody like that and they start asking questions, so yeah, and then not only through these kids did I get to know myself, but I also got to know my sister, and I got to know the kids, and I was able to be there for Heb during the separation, and the kids really needed another person to lean on at that time because they couldn't really see the other parent, and for obvious reasons. But yeah, and he doesn't like me because of this. He hates me because of this. He hates me because I am a better father than he will ever be. But yeah, he wants nothing to do with me now. I used to help with the visitations and stuff, but now because I think he's discovered that the kids like me better than him because I have been there for longer. I have been a staple to. They can trust me that I'm not gonna wander off and but yeah, allegedly. I'm not saying that that's actually what was going on. I'm just saying sometimes it seemed like it, the way that he acted sometimes just seemed a little loopy, but I honestly think it was probably just a stupid ADHD that he didn't bother to medicate. But yeah, these kids, I'm not a parent, and I'm child free. My spouse and I, we agreed to be child free in our teens, in our 20s, because we both knew right away. I think we knew that when we started I'm sorry, this is kind of a tangent, but when we reunited in our shared last year of high school, my optional academic courses, basically what they grade 13, but that was the last year they offered it, and then Terry was there for grade 12, and we had a couple of periods of spare periods together, and we reunited after 2 years of 2 years not really hanging out or on and off. We used to hang out together when I was 15, 16, and then I just dropped off because of what happened when I was 16, and I didn't want to talk to really anybody except the people that I thought I could trust. And we decided that long ago we were not going to bring kids into the world ourselves, and if we ever changed our minds, we were going to adopt, especially when I hit 20, in the summer when I turned 26, and shit hit the fan and my health failed. We decided, especially then, I'm Terry, I can't have kids. And Terry's we are not going to have kids. That wasn't... Well, technically we do have kids because we have an effing teenage cat screaming because I'm busy. But we just said we can't have kids. Not only for health reasons, but we just don't want them. We just want to have our own single time. We're good. We have a complete family with each other and our animals. And probably animal. The 2-cat thing was an accident. But we always had 1 cat, but then Spenny needed a home, so we took him. It just felt right. And yeah. So we didn't really want kids, but then Heather needed help, and then I still don't want kids. But if I ever needed, there was this one moment actually. There was one moment I wanted kids. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sorry, what? I hope they get help, honestly. There was one moment I did want kids, and it was not long after Nikki was born, because he was just Nikki shit. Not long after N was born, and there's just 1 week where I was just heartbroken that I was not gonna have kids, and I wanted a kid, and I pictured a kid that Terry and I would have, and I cried, and my heart was broken, and my uterus wept, and blah blah blah, all that shit. And then I made my peace with it, and I moved on, because I realized that I would still have some kind of relationship with children in my life. It just it's first of all, it was my choice whether or not I wanted to be in these kids' lives. I made that choice, and second of all, it's up to them if they want me in their lives. And so far, it seems like they do. Nikki, I guess, doesn't really have a choice because, I kind of have to watch him regardless because Mom's got shit to do, and I don't. So hang out with me for a bit, Nikki. I'm just going to say it. Who cares? And probably by this time, people stop watching, so it doesn't matter. But, and Nikki and I, we just hang out and we have fun and we fluff. I've made videos before about how he'll just run up and down the hallway in my apartment. And then when E is here... E's actually in school, so I'm not going to say their name. When E is here, they get all my Squishmallows and all my TY plushies, and they just throw them on my couch and just dive in. They like it here, too, and they go up and down the hallway with Nikki, too. But, so if I ever wanted kids, I have that need fulfilled with these kids. Anything that I could ever want, I get. I didn't think that Nikki would ever see me as somebody comfortable enough for them to come towards me and want comfort from me, especially since anytime Mommy leaves, Nikki just basically explodes and breaks down unless I'm there. Like, there are moments where Nikki will break down when I'm there and just be like, ugh, this sucks that mommy's not here anymore, because they're attached to their mama. But then they realize I'm here and it's fun time begins. The hallway runs begin. And I think that's a really cool thing. And like, Nikki knows that they can come to me for comfort. Like, if Nikki's sad or they bump their head, immediately turns to me and just, and I'm just like, come here, you know, like, it is a weird feeling, and it's like, it is a warm feeling to realize that someone as young and as vulnerable and as emotional as a child trusts you the way that they do. And I have it for some reason. These two kids and their mom trust me deeply, very deeply. And it's something I never take for granted. And it's something that I never, ever want to break. Like, I've messed up. I've fucked up a lot of times when it comes to these kids. Like, I remember one time, I'd scared the piss out of me. Nikki bonked their lip and split it, and I thought they lost their teeth because there was just blood going down their mouth. And I just started like panicking. But at the same time, I was panicking, but I was doing the right things. I was just taking hold of Nikki. Nikki didn't even realize what was going on. I just put a towel right up to their mouth, wiped it away, checked to see if their teeth were missing, checked to see what it was, saw the clip, put more up there, called their mom, you know, just shit like that. Shit you're supposed to do. If you had asked me 10 years ago if I would know what to do if a kid split their lip open on my watch, I would have shat in your face. Or at least I would have laughed hard enough to need to go shit, you know? Because I didn't think I had that kind of thing in me. First of all, I always thought I would never have a nurturing bone in my body unless I was forced to have kids, in which case the chemical endorphins would force me to do that in the first place, which is a very cynical way of thinking about kids. I don't really think that way anymore, by the way. I really do think parents love their kids. I really do. I don't think it's just a chemical thing. I do think some people should not be parents, but it doesn't necessarily have to do with chemicals. But like, no, I'm not even their parent and they have that kind of thing. So it's obviously not chemicals, you know? It's just a strange feeling to know that you have a place in this small little person, two small little people's lives. And I'm going to get a little emotional here, so I'm going to do my best not to cry, because nothing is more unseemly than crying online. I just want to make it clear that when it comes to these kids, like, I don't want anything from them, really. I don't even want them to, like, adore me or anything like that. I don't even want them to necessarily see me that way. They don't have to see me in order for me to love them, you know? I want to be the kind of uncle that doesn't require a child to chase after me in order for me to love them, you know? And I want them to know that I am a safe space. Like, I want them to know that they can trust me and that I may make mistakes, and I have made mistakes a lot, but it's never on purpose, and it's never to hurt them. It's never purposefully to hurt them. If I ever hurt them, you can better believe that it was not on purpose 100% of the time. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn and say I'm the best fucking aunt or uncle in the world. I don't think that. I just, to understand this side of myself, you know, it's amazing. And like, my only wish is that if they do remember me, and I don't know if they will, because I have a feeling I will die quite young, probably too young for them to remember me. But if they do, I genuinely just hope that they remember good things about me. That they remember me as that fun person that made them laugh. And that they knew that I would hug them if they needed it. Or respected their space when they needed it. I just want them to know that I love them and respect them. And I always will be their number one fan. That's all I want them to know. That's it. I don't want anything else. Imagine that, right? It's just like, I'm one of the most selfish people in the world, and yeah, you would think that I would want to be worshipped and stuff, and I guess because I want to be a published writer, I do, but not from these kids. I just want them to be happy. I just want them and my sister to be happy. That's all. You know? That's all. Yeah, that's it.